Hello everyone and welcome back to the Great Book of Grudges. My name is Nathan and we're back with another Total War Warhammer video. So the recent announcement of Beast Lord Rakarth, the FLC Legendary Lord, which will drop on the 18th of March, has sent everyone into a bit of a speculation frenzy, mostly centered around the possible DLC which will be released after this FLC drop. Now, many people are speculating as to what that DLC might exactly be, and we'll start doing that later on in this channel soon enough, as the DLC itself might be closer than we think. What you're seeing on screen right now is a screenshot of the SteamDB page, and as you can see in the DLC section, there are 5 unused DLC slots. If memory serves, 2 of these were added shortly after the release of The Twisted and the Twilight. This normally follows the usual format when it comes to the release of a DLC and the stepping up for the next product. Now, if memory serves once again, the most recent 3 entries are entirely new, which, if I'm correct here with speculation, it should more or less mean that the DLC itself is going through quality control and internal testing through CA staff and possibly Games Workshop too. Now, of course, one of these unused DLCs is Beast Lord Rakarth. We can be 100% sure of that, as FLC also takes up a DLC slot. That in turn leaves us with 4, which is more or less in line with the most recent DLC and FLC launches. 1 paid for DLC and 3 separate FLC products, usually an FLC Lord, and possibly a hero or a unit or even a mount option. We can see that clearly here when we look to the 2 previous DLCs. The Twisted and the Twilight had the Skaven Chieftain, Dryker, and the Glade Captain as 3 separate FLCs. The Warden and the Paunch had Imric, the Black Orc Big Boss, and the Catchweb Spider Shrine mount option. Again, 3 more FLCs which were closely associated with the original DLC. Again, if it's the case that they're tied to an internal build on Steam, then that means that the DLC to come after this FLC drop is already through internal testing, which means that we can more or less guess when the DLC will eventually come out. Now, I'm being realistic with my assumption here, but since we're getting an FLC drop this month, I very much doubt that we're going to see anything related to a DLC in the month of March. Ultimately, I also think that there's not going to be anything for the month of April, mainly because it makes no sense to tie a FLC content drop and a full DLC content drop so closely together. If that was to be the case, it would have made sense to release Rakarth as a FLC alongside the DLC. An educated guess would mean that the DLC will drop either in the month of May or the month of June, which would be more or less around 6 to 7 months since The Twisted and the Twilight. Yes, it's another big content drought, but this is actually a good thing. Well, first off, we're getting an FLC in between to be able to keep us busy until then. And secondly, that could indeed mean that we might be due the Beastmen DLC that we've all been waiting for, as the Wood Elf rework in The Twisted and the Twilight took around this much time, so this might bode well for us all. Now, of course, there is the statement by Grace from Creative Assembly, where she said on a Reddit post that they expect to tell us more about Total War Warhammer 3 in the month of May. I don't think this would affect a potential DLC drop. In the best case scenario, we'll see the DLC dropping around mid-May, and then the Warhammer 3 news coming near the end of the month. However, if Creative Assembly have a lot to show off for Warhammer 3 in the month of May, it could be that the DLC would be moved to June, as it doesn't really make sense to promote both around the same time. It would take attention away from one or the other. I still think that this bodes well for a potential Beastmen DLC. The wait itself is a tad long, though of course we have Rakarth to keep us busy until then. Apologies for the shorter video than usual. I've been working on a few projects and it's required a bit of my time, but I'll see you all again very soon. Have a good day.